Russell knew, I think, that I was doing it before he wrote it, so it's kind of, he's made it for me, and it's an amazing part to play.
It was quite interesting having John playing the Master and me being incapacitated as an old man, because usually I'm the one who's spouting pages of stuff at 300 miles an hour while everybody else kind of stares at me, and it was interesting to have the tables turned.
The Doctor is so powerful and so glittering and so brilliant that to remove him is frightening, and it really puts the emphasis on to Martha Jones. The whole point of this whole series is building up to this woman who has learned so much and is so devoted to the Doctor that she spends an entire year walking the earth in order to save not just him, but then to save the whole world.
Basically, we were using a high-speed camera, because the idea was that we're aging the Doctor. This is an effect through the camera as opposed to making it an effect that maybe the mill, would do or so forth. Okay, so we'll bring the artist back in then. We just speeded up, which basically we cranked down to, I think it was about 3 frames, first of all, and then we messed around with the shutter speed as well. I think we went at a 35 shutter speed. So the effect that gave, right, was a very slow sort of, it gives you this sort of like really dazed and it's blurred effect going across the screen, which actually looked quite horrifying. If you're going to run that back at 25 frames per second, then that will then get sped up and it'll go really fast.
I just felt a bit of a goon, to be honest, flailing around for, I think it had to be 3 minutes, because they'll remove so many frames.
Thank you. I'm very happy with what we've got, and I think it only, and then with the sound, and we put on all the screaming and so forth, and the effect of actually the aging, it all kind of works out beautifully.
Okay, we've cut, thank you.
And we take the Doctor to that much of a low so that when he returns, it's light shining and supernatural power blazing out of him, so his return is all the more glorious.
Obviously I knew that in the script the Doctor levitated, but nobody had told me we were going to do it for real. I assumed it was all going to be computer generated until I arrived that morning and there's this wire harness hanging down and somebody comes into my trailer with one of those blooming things that they strap you into that make your back hurt for the next week.
It's funny that and I do remember him saying, he was like, "What you want? Oh, I'm going up there," So that must have just slipped through. Sort of like, I don't know where to partial blame really. But fortunately, you've got someone who he's so into it and he's so cool, right? He's like, yeah, it's fine, it's all right. I'm not afraid of heights much.
It was an emotional time because Adjua, who plays my mum, Francine, she has a really emotional moment as well, and she's fab, and she is so emotive. So I had to sort of run and look after her, my mum, who was distraught and breaking down. So it's like, again, Martha's in this position where she's thinking, my family are struggling with this, man, even though there's so much more that she needs to find out and is looking to find out. She's sort of torn, if you like. The death of the Master affects the Doctor massively.
All I remember from that scene is David Tennant's manly stubble on my eye. He was rubbing his chin up against me, his big Doctor Who manly chin. And so I had eye stubble from Tennant. Not nice. But yeah, it was good scene.
Right, so we'll track back on that run forward then, John.
There's a real need to have the Master there, to have some recognition that the Time Lords ever existed. But he can't save the Master. He can save everyone, but he can't save his own people again. The last remnant of his own people. And there's a desperate sadness for him in that.